What have you noted as the most unaddressed issue?
So as you correctly said, it's the perception that first people have on hospitality industry.
Right.
Has been a low regarded industry, and then people don't feel empowered. People who are working, the real players, the real professionals of the industry.
Right.
And from the perception, then it changed the whole story.
Right.
So
that's how you're approaching it. So where do you start now? You've come in and you've come into the market and you understand it because of your background, but knowing the Rwandan market, where do you start?
Change the perception first. That's what we are doing with the hospitality talk show that we're starting, is talking to the professionals first and let them tell the story from their own words,
right,
and introduce them to the population.
Right. All right, give us a scenario maybe who you've managed to speak to and some of the issues. Maybe you might not point out a name because we might want to be to have the essence of suspense before you start airing it. But who have you managed to speak to and what are the problems in the industry?
So we spoke to a variety of people, from the chef to the housekeeper,
right,
to the financial department, and to the managers,
right,
and also the educational institutions in hospitality.
Right.
And people still don't realize that you need an education in hospitality to work in it.
Right.
So we spoke to all of them, and they speak from their own perspective. What is the industry for them? What was the perception they had before, right, and what is now? Now we are blessed in Rwanda to have many international brands, right, and people start really looking differently on the industry and on the professionals.
All right. We'd imagine that since we're expecting this huge amounts of money coming from the hospitality industry, the people in there are compensated well enough, but this has not been the case. We're seeing a lot of chefs underpaid, a lot of administrative staff underpaid. How does WideView Hospitality Consulting assist?
So how we assist, again, is by launching this show on hospitality, dedicated to hospitality. Right. And we were kind of surprised that there were no dedicated show or TV show or program dedicated to hospitality. Right. So what we're doing is just changing and first introducing these people to the hotel owners, to the investors. It has been an owner's market. When there is a job on the market, is the owner who decides, right, which salary he may give. Right. While people are still frustrated seeing that people from overseas, expats, are paid more than locals who have the same experience, right, and same qualifications. Right. So it's just introducing to those professionals to the industry and then to the owners, right, and then things are going to change in the future. Right. Because people are more now looking to focus on Rwandans, and we hope that in 4 to 5 years all these international brands will be managed by Rwandans. Right. And they are here already.
Okay, but how are the hotel owners, hotel managers receiving this? Because we'd imagine you're coming and advising the staff that you're supposed to be paid this much, but they already have it within their budgeting that they have not allocated such amounts of money. How is that being received?
Not that well that we would expect, but I think it's going to be led by the business case. When you see your business not really going the way you want it to be, right, in the first place, and then hiring some locals who can bring the real expertise, right, and help your business grow. Okay. We also have a segment for entrepreneurs who invested in this industry, right, and who are really doing great. And so we want to show these examples as well to the hotel owners.
All right. That there's a lot of value addition. We were having a conversation, of course, on the sidelines, and we mentioned even for this, for the ladies and gentlemen who handle daily maintenance and cleaning, there's a side of the business within hospitality that has not been catered to formally. We're seeing a lot of corporations coming up, but they're not addressed or within a formal system, like the cleaners, for example. So in that essence, how do you now manage to tie the two conversations?
Thank you for bringing up this because we're also launching training in cleaning. So it's going to be the first academy in professional cleaning. Right. And as well, it's a low-regarded industry. Right. And people don't think that you deserve to have a training in that industry, while it's big business overseas, abroad, in other markets. Right. So it's just by telling the story. Our goal was first to tell the story of Africa hospitality industry,
right,
and by professionals in their own words. And then the cleaning as well, because people in the industry can work in different industries, like
right,
cleaning related to that.
Right. We'd like to map out now where Rwanda is with the same. We can't undermine the progress that has been made, right, in the hospitality sector, and policies have been put in place. So we just need you to help clarify how conducive are the policies now for the hospitality sector to grow, and how much information do people have access to? Because we're seeing a lot of this is being repeated, and we thought we hadn't heard it before, but it's actually somewhere on paper.
Yes. So I think the government has done a tremendous work
right,
by doing this. It's just the implementation that is taking more time because people don't understand. It's, you know, Rwanda is speeding up in many things. And then this is also an industry that the government has been facilitating everything from A to Z.
Right.
But people, the implementation in between is taking time because people don't understand. I was mentioning that it has been an owner's market for many years. But now the big players are coming with different standards, like in hospitality, using the yield management. Like they can lower the price at low season at the very low that we ever seen for the 4- or 5-star hotels. So people now are understanding, again, led by the business case.
All right.
So we're just trying to tell the story, and they can see, and they think that they will have to accept sooner or later.
I'm sure you've had this question before. People normally ask, and they've asked us as well, given the Rwandan market and the kind of demand that we have here, would it make more business sense to have 5 5-star hotels and 100 3- or 4-star hotels, or would it be the other way around? Given the supply and demand here, what are your views?
So again, it depends. It's good to have, the competition is good, is always good. And first is to bring the international standards in Rwanda, that everyone can apply it. The RDB has been implementing the regulation in the tourism industry, which is a great thing. And now they are starting giving stars to hotels and assessing them. So I think the policies and everything is there. It's just now to follow. And then coming to what you just said about the competition, it will depend on, you just need to analyze first who's the tourist, who's the client, who's the customer. And people still think that the number one customer they should focus on is from Western countries, which is totally wrong, because the first customer they should focus on is the African one, the neighbor who's around.
All right. Let's talk about what's expected to happen. We have Rwanda set to host over 2,200 visitors coming for 45 international conferences this year. When you see such numbers, does it frighten you that we might be exposing ourselves to the entire world when our hospitality industry is not as thorough as we need it to be? You mentioned that we're growing quickly, but we have a lot of loopholes that a lot of international bodies might actually notice.
Yeah, we should not be afraid of this because Rwanda has been doing great, even when we, as His Excellency said, we are pressured by opportunities. And then we've been there and delivering on that. The first example was the AU and how it went. People were saying that we are not ready, but we proved them wrong. So I'm glad that the government is doing everything to attract those conferences and those videos. 22,000 plus visitors is great. And so we should not be afraid, and I think we'll be ready. I mean, the industry will be ready. People are willing to that, and then it's also exposed us to those challenges that we have to face anyway. In 10 or 5 years, we will not be talking about like being afraid or not.